right, let's talk about hop-ups. I've had a lot of people ask me about hop-ups lately, and hop-ups are a great way to increase your accuracy and distance with your gel ball blaster. Now, if you're looking for optimal distance, optimal accuracy, you kind of have to build your blaster to one specific gel ball brand that you and model that you have found works best with it, and then really kind of customize everything to that. Now, just going to a hop-up, if you find several different gel balls that work pretty good, a hop-up should make a big difference when it comes to accuracy and distance. So let's talk a little bit about some of the different hop-ups that are out there and how they work and what you can do to make them look cool and all that stuff. So here, this is actually the EMERBU C-Jun MK18, and that's what I'm going to be playing with, and that's what I'm going to end up putting a hop-up on here. Okay, first off, a lot of people notice when they buy a blaster that you have your outer barrel with a threaded tip, and then your metal barrel sticks out further, and they wonder what's going on there. And this is primarily so that you can put a hop-up on it, that it sticks out like this. This certainly affects tracers, because if your metal barrel sticks out this far and you put a tracer on there, a lot of times the tracer sensor is going to be blocked by the metal inner barrel. But if you put a hop-up on here, that is why that is like that. You do not want a gap between your metal inner and the hop-up, because otherwise there's an air gap before it's going to hit the hop-up, and that's going to cause some issues. So when you see this little piece sticking out here, that is the primary reason why it's there. It's more for a hop-up. If you're only concerned with a tracer, you can cut it back, or you basically buy a tracer unit that fits inside a suppressor like this, where you can move the tracer unit kind of further down, if that makes sense. So this is a KSC fake suppressor that you can buy from an AK Gel Blaster. And if you move, you can see in here, there you go, the tracer. If you move it like that, it's far enough back where the sensor is going to read the gel balls, because you can see the tracer is that far in, right? Okay. But if you want to put a hop-up on here, you want that there. Now you can still use something like this KSC tracer to cover it up. And that's the nice thing about these like fake suppressors like this. So again, that's from AK Gel Blaster. You'd put this on the threads. We put your hop-up on there. You get your hop-up adjusted nicely, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then you can spin your fake suppressor onto that, okay? That's exactly what I did here. This is a 3D printed version that I'm going to use for this, which has the hex design, because if you watch previous videos, I showed you how I'm kind of building out a hex design, custom handguard, and some other pieces for this blaster. So that's exactly what I did here, is basically you got this piece here with the threads, inner threads, that'll spin on to your 14 millimeter counterclockwise. Then I'll put the hop-up on. We'll get it good and adjusted. And then you can turn this piece on around this, right? So that sticks on there. So if you don't have a 3D printer, though, you could buy something like this KSC version from AK Gel Blaster, or there's going to be other versions from other sites. So let's talk about the different types of hop-ups, okay? Different ones are out there. This is the inexpensive kind that comes with some blasters, like comes with a lot of Cyma blasters and a few others. Okay, this is made to be glued to the inner barrel. So you put some glue around there, you'd slide that on, or silicone would work too. All right, and then you can see right here, there's a little tongue at the top and a little grub screw. That grub screw lets you adjust it. So that's what you would be turning either down or up to adjust your spin, okay? Because when you have a gel blaster and it shoots, it's just going to kind of automatically give it some top spin, and then your hop-up is basically going to reverse that top spin to back spin, and that's going to kind of straighten it out and give it some distance. Okay, so that's why the tongue goes on top if it's a single tongue unit like this. So this is the kind that you glue on, and then you just adjust the top tongue only. Another one that has a single tongue is this one here. This is made for like the Gen 8 M4A1s or the SCAR V2s, where it fits on a 19 millimeter outer, which you'd lock on here, okay? And then you'd be able to adjust your tongue right here. So that would lock on, and then you'd adjust the tongue up and down from the top with the little grub screw, okay? Now, if you're going to spend a little more money, buy a little better one, there's some different options out there, right? So here's an option. I'm trying to see if I can even read the brand on this one. I think it just says Rock, but this one has two, right? So you got a bottom tongue and a top tongue, and then you've got grub screws on both. This one still is going to glue on, so you glue it on there. And then you'd adjust the bottom and the top, which is just basically going to give you more control and more variability, more ability to change it up, okay? Now, there's the riser. This riser brand, hopup, is probably one of the most popular ones, especially if you're, if you're looking at videos from Australia and stuff. This is the more popular version. So again, you can lock it in here and here on the top and the bottom with grub screws, and then your tongues are there. So you'd go ahead and you just push it on, and then you'd lock those grub screws in place, okay? And typically it'll even come with extra tongues like this and extra grub screws that are in there. What I plan on using is this one here. This is an AKA hopup. You're going to look at it. So the bigger tongue is going to go on top. In this case, that's where the words are. So we're going to go ahead, and you've got a grub screw here and a grub screw here to lock it in place. And then we have a grub screw on the top and a grub screw on the bottom. And those are both going to allow you to control how it spins. It's also going to come with an additional tongue, right? So you're going to put that on there, you're going to adjust things, and then you're going to go ahead and go from there and kind of adjust them until you get to exactly where you want to be. And then once you've got it where you want to be, in this case, I will have had this spun on here, and then I'll have my hopup, and then I'll go ahead and screw that on. But I won't screw this piece on until we've got this all set up and ready to go. And most of the time they're going to come with the Allen wrench that you need to adjust the grub screws and the height of the tongues, okay? So hopefully that gives you a rundown. I know this video's gotten a little long about how you set them up. And now later you can see some videos I post with this blaster specifically, and this hopup, this AKA hopup specifically, where I adjust it and we try to get the most accurate and the most distance using a hopup. So if you can, buy a hopup that has the tongues on the bottom and the top, that is going to give you the most ability of customizing it and getting the best accuracy. But if you have one that came with a hopup like this, you're still going to get benefit from using this and just adjusting that top tongue to get the best accuracy and distance. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Comments, questions, post them below. Of course, like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, participate in those monthly giveaways where I give away over $200 in custom blasters and accessories. Thanks.